On this week's episode, we share all on Meet in the Middle hits US.
Come along for the ride and hear all about our mishaps and adventures on our deep road trip.
From the snowy Smokies to the bustling streets of New Orleans, we spill all the beans from along the way.
So stay tuned to hear all this and what life-lasting choices we made to mark this trip.
Oh, Jesus, he's falling around the gap.
Do you think I'd come up the line in a bubble?
I know where I'm putting Debbie's sauce. Hang on, can I submit my confession?
Welcome back to Meet in the Middle, the podcast where Irish and British banter collide, bringing you chaotic laughs, bizarre confessionals, and a whole lot of questionable life advice. I'm James, your Irish messer and spokesperson for the Everyday Confessor. I'm joined as always by my tolerable co-hosts, Rachel, your agony aunt expertise, who's never caught short of a 50p.
Hi, that's brilliant.
Then we have Jake, the headline basher and Sherwood Forest flasher.
Oh, that's a hello. Just to confirm, I do not flash in the woods.
Well, the jury's out on that one. And last but not least, we have Danny, our coastal queen that isn't afraid to cause a scene.
Damn right, bitches. Hello.
Episode
Hello.
62. We're all back. It's just the fourth this week, off the back of Cheryl's episode last week. How amazing was that to get Cheryl on?
Angelica Pickles. Living a dream. Can't believe it.
Took me back to my childhood.
It did. And then Jake had a little slip at the end, didn't you, Jake? If any of our listeners listened to it last week,
Love you.
Jake was like, thanks, Cheryl. Love you. Love you lots.
I was just regressing back to my childhood. I was right there.
You just
9
got
o'clock on a Saturday
excited.
morning. Yeah.
He's got attachment issues. We understand.
And the listeners will find out as we go through this episode.
Well, what are we going to talk about in this week's episode?
Well, what shall we talk about?
Should we have a bit of a clue?
What's that, Jake has?
Ooh.
Little cowboy hat. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we took a little break.
Jolene.
And I've got my beads out as well for the.
I beg your
listeners at
pardon.
home. Yeah.
Oh, where's my one? I've got some here too. There we go.
If you're wondering what's going on, they're showing like beads, not anal beads, beads that you get from Mardi Gras.
Yeah, especially after you saying I've got attachment issues, and we'll find out in this episode.
And our t-shirts, my Jolene t-shirt and my little cowboy hat in the background there. Cowgirl hat, sorry.
Oh, I've got my little Nashville hat on. I'm literally decked head to toe.
So yeah, there's lots of kind of American references going on. And I guess we're going to talk about our road trip, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, exciting. So if you didn't know, we took a break before we came back for season 4, and that's because we went on an American road trip. We did a deep south road trip, baby. Yes. Where did we go?
I can't remember.
Oh, Jay.
It was all a blur.
Was that long ago?
It was that long ago. No, only joking. We will go through.
Well,
those places.
it was that packed. Yeah, it was full packed. We had it all pre-booked, didn't we?
Yeah.
We did have it pre-booked. Actually, probably now is a good time to give a shout out to Dean, my lovely friend Dean, who is an independent travel advisor. His little company's called At Creating Core Memories. So you can find him on Instagram. But Dean, we want to just say a massive thank you for organising our trip. I know it was last minute for you as well. So you did it all so quickly and kind of matched everything to our original itinerary. And we can't thank you enough. We had an amazing time, and it's you have a big part to play in that. So thank you so much. If you're looking,
Thank you.
Thank you.
if you're looking for your next trip, get in touch with Dean. Hit him up. Oh, of course. And yeah, so before the trip, we all met at your place in Dublin and did our very first in-person episode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are we
After
actually
60
going out?
episodes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, actually, that was quite a short episode. It took more time trying to set up for that bloody episode than we did spending time recording it.
To gauge
There's no
yourself.
way I'd be able to do it every week. Jesus.
And then took just as long to get it out to our listeners and viewers.
It
Yeah,
did.
internet shortage.
So the break
We were
didn't
literally-
seem as long.
Yeah, we were on the road. Yeah, it was meant to be like, oh, we're going to take a 2 to 3 week break, but it literally took me 2 weeks to get it up online with the internet over there. So it was literally, there was no break at all. There was a break before we told you there was a break.
Yeah.
The internet was woeful. Like we tried to like leave the laptop on and upload it on in the hotel room. Came back and it was only like 30%. I was like, fuck this. We need to go to our next destination.
Oh, it's a nightmare. A bloody nightmare.
Yeah.
No.
And then me in the back of the car while we were taking turns driving, I'm there in the back with my laptop editing everything, and I was all for nothing when it took so long to upload.
You were
I was just
asleep half the time.
Yeah,
I wasn't. I was
sleeping.
I had my sunglasses on
photographs.
and I was looking. Yeah, if you zoom in, my eyes were open on that one.
Yeah.
Well, should we start at the beginning then and talk about the flight out?
Let's do.
Yeah.
Yes. So we managed to get a picture, didn't we, while we were on that flight?
Oh yeah, let's have a look. Let's have a look at the picture of all of
Pull
us.
it up, Jake. Pull it up.
We upgraded, didn't we? We thought we upgraded.
But then we all just moved seats anyway and got our own row, so it was fine.
Yeah.
We upgraded to having like 6 inches extra legroom.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was great.
Jake, I had to keep waking you up. You were sleeping. You all were sleeping. I was watching flipping the bodyguard and having a wee Bacardi's and had to wake you all up because the food was coming. I was like, guys, food's here.
Jake is the worst person before a holiday to go away with because he already had looked up 3 months before all the in-flight entertainment and what we were getting on the plane, what food we were getting.
I don't
you
get
know
out
what?
often, okay? Come on.
All the Googling worked out well because it all went to plan.
Yes.
It did.
And where did we fly
So-
into first?
We flew into Charlotte,
We did.
North Carolina. Is that right?
Yes.
Wasn't
Caroline?
it? Your first time on American soil, Rach.
It was. Do you know what? Like, it was just so different. See, getting off the plane, there's a different kind of smell to like your Spanish
Yeah.
holiday. You know when you get the heat that hits you off, like whenever you're in Spain, it hits you off the.
Was it a smell of shite?
It did smell a wee bit funky, to be honest. But like, I just couldn't believe the different vibe. It, like driving down the highways, like going towards Charlotte, and like, oh, it was just amazing. And like, it just felt so big. Like I felt like a teeny tiny ant. It just is massive. And then what we covered over the whole trip, like mental, just mental.
And obviously,
But
we've got to have a point out that us three had prepared you on what to say during the TSA. Like, oh, you'll be fine. Just answer
Oh
the
my
questions.
god, that was.
And we had the best immigration possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were
Charlotte-
really good.
Yeah, Charlotte
was so
Airport
good.
have a great TSA. Because we were telling Rachel, like, oh, don't say anything. Look down the ground. Don't take your phone out. But they were actually so nice in Charlotte.
I was so
And we
glad
were-
because, like, they asked about the hotel. I had no clue. I didn't know where I was staying or anything. I literally didn't say nothing. I just stood there. I was like,
And that was the fastest time I've ever gotten through customs, TSA customs. That was like, we were in and out.
yeah.
I think
That was
it
amazing.
helped though that ours had the middle name of Nottingham, so we got through quicker. It was like, I like you. Middle name.
Yes,
Nottingham,
that's
straight through.
right.
I just let James do all the talking. I was like, Well, the first night was eventful. I remember waking up the next day at like 5:30 in the morning. My body clock was absolutely gone. But what happened the night before that?
I packed a few little fun things in my case. I'm a prankster, if you don't already know. So, yeah, I had a couple of masks, I had a wig, I had a fake snake. So, the first day, I planned on spreading this out throughout the whole 3-week holiday. But
No,
I just
first
had
night.
I'm so impatient. So, that mask came out on the first night. And I think we have a video of me scaring Rachel.
Yes, let's
while she's.
see
And
the
this is
video.
my voice. The noise is my voice. Like my whole voice, my whole body literally froze, and I was like,
And
Do you know
can
what
see
was
in
funny though, Rach?
what?
Is that James was literally there for like a good minute and a half before
Yeah.
you even noticed.
patiently
Because
waiting.
I remember going to the bathroom and coming out, getting down on my knees, doing my suitcase, whatever, get my jammies out, and I was
That's your own
literally
business.
just doing whatever in my suitcase, and then I just was going to get up, and it just shocked the light clear out of me.
And I don't know if you've seen in that video, there's a connecting door there to our neighbours. And I don't know whether it came across in that video, but that scream was loud. She was loud. Like, I'm surprised we didn't get a knock on the door from security.
And this was like what, midnight or something?
Yeah,
It was
it
really
Yeah, it was,
late.
yeah.
Oh my
But obviously,
And then we all got
knocked on
into
that
bed.
kitchen door as well. You can
Yeah.
knock on that kitchen door just to scare her.
I went to scare Rachel in the bathroom, and I put the mask on, and these little eye holes, they're tiny little slits. You couldn't even see out of them. I was like that, trying to find the door, and knocked on what I thought was the bathroom door, but no, it was the connected door with my mask on. And then when we went to bed, I set it up in a way to scare Rachel to point that at her. Then you have a photo of that as well to show.
Here's what was facing.
Oh my
Rach
God!
In bed. I think that would be enough to scare anyone. Guys that are listening, we literally got it propped up on the bedside cabinet in between the two beds that we were in. Yeah, so if you wake up next to that in the middle of the night, it looks like something from Friday the 13th. Or
That was Felicia. Felicia was going to get put in the bin after that.
Actually, now you can see the tiny little slits above the eyeballs there that I was looking out.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this is probably a good time to say if any of the listeners are listening on Apple Podcasts or Amazon and this is just audio, change over to YouTube or Spotify to have a look at all these photos and videos too.
Yeah, do.
Yeah, just switch over like you can switch over.
Otherwise, you're missing out.
So we're only in Charlotte for one night. It was really just like a stopover to get us over there, get the car, which was an amazing car. It was a GMC Arcadia. Massive, yeah. Well, we needed it because we had 8 suitcases each. Well, not each, sorry, 8 in total.
All together.
8 each.
Could you imagine? That was just me.
But then Charlotte was just our one night stop. Our first main attraction spot that we were looking for was Pigeon Forge, and that was amazing. So we got there, and it was it 4 degrees Fahrenheit, which was about minus 12 degrees Celsius.
Freezing. Absolutely.
Really cold.
Freezing.
I'm so glad I bought my dry robe.
You got your money's worth out of that dry robe, Danny.
Shut up.
I dry robe everywhere.
I think I wore that great coat nearly everywhere too. It was fucking freezing.
Yeah. I will say though, like minus 12 degrees Celsius, I've never felt that before. I was expecting it to be freezing. Like, you ever see those videos where they throw cold water up in the air and it evaporates instantly? Yeah. I don't think it was that bad.
There was icicles on the car. There was icicles in the car in the parking lot.
Yeah, true.
Like, do you remember? So it was freezing.
Do you remember Rachel and Jake's driving? Pick a lane, sweetie.
Oh my God.
Excuse me. It was my first time driving. Okay, and I think I did really well. I was driving up the Blue Ridge Mountains in the snow and the ice, so
you were
hold it onto the side for dear life.
Danny was always calling it the "Oh Jesus" because anytime Rachel was driving, Danny was like, "Oh Jesus."
No, it was more Jake, to be fair.
Well, I got us there on time.
On time.
Not on
we
time,
were meant to be splitting drives. So if it was like, say, a 4-hour drive, we were doing an hour each. But that hour Jake took the drive, added an extra half an hour onto mine.
No, I'm joking.
Going from a small Fiesta to a massive vehicle, come on. There's a massive difference. And it was icy on the road.
Yeah, it was.
To be fair, I think I did better than you, Jake. So
you did. And
it's not a competition.
Excuse me.
In your defense as well, there is that adaptation period of, like, because you're driving the opposite side of the road and in the car you're sitting on the opposite side, hence why we kept on saying, pick a lane, sweetie. And then we took a day trip up to Gatlinburg from Pigeon Forge. That was amazing. That was a nice little town. And we went into a hot sauce shop in one of the shopping centres. Remember
I forgot all about that. You had to sign a waiver.
Yeah. So me and Jake decided to have the hottest sauce on the planet. I think it was 7.5 million Scovilles. It was that hot that we had to sign a waiver to say that we give no responsibility to the shop on whatever happens to us. And we got a recording. We got that all on video as well. So
the guy did it with you as well, didn't he? The guy behind the counter did it with you.
The guy that worked there did it with us, yeah.
How did it feel? Was it hot? Did you cry? Was it
uncomfortable? Your face was fucking going redder and redder and redder. Jake was
like, red anyway.
Yeah, no,
Jake was like, that's hot, that was.
The more he went, he was like, oh, it's hot, it's hit me.
No, that was too hot, that was.
I can handle hot. And yeah, it was probably hotter than anything else I had, but for 7.5 million Scovilles, I thought it was going to be a lot worse.
Yeah. All right, guys, this is the flat line right here. This is 7 million Scoville units. This has the top 4 hottest peppers in the world: the Carolina Reaper, the Trinidad Scorpion, the 7-pot Douglas, and the Ghost Pepper, and a capsaicin in it. Sign this waiver.
What time check-in?
Basically, it just means you agree to, not get mad at me for doing you wrong. So,
Just out of interest, where is the closest hospital?
next town over, it's about 20
We
minutes.
got the disclaimer, and then we signed that, didn't we? Just signed it.
I'm a
We've even got a T-shirt to say I've survived the flatline.
You were shit next on check, weren't you?
Even Danny was, and he wasn't doing it.
Right here. Get harder for 2. Back this up. Now this one will continue to get harder for 2 minutes.
Oh.
Wow.
It's a slow burner.
How long did you live from the last
Oh
one?
my
to this
god,
one?
it's so funny.
No, come
Oh,
on.
yeah, it's coming on now.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah, now it's going. I honestly
The
didn't
little
feel
cheeks.
How is that, Jake?
Yeah.
That is the hottest thing I've ever tasted in my life.
It's an
That
experience.
Who's that Karen in the background with our camera?
Big shout out to the guy that was working there that decided to do it with us.
Yeah.
And then straight
Yeah,
after,
yeah.
he actually gave us some sweet barbecue sauce to kind of like counteract the hotness. Yeah, that was an experience.
Yeah. That
It
was
did come
fun.
back to haunt a bit later on that day, though. I won't say any more, but
Oh.
you can probably read between the lines. The stomach ache that I got off the scale.
God.
I will say though, I was starving and we were meant to go for food after that. But that little bit of hot sauce took my hunger. Went away, girl. My hunger just went away.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
maybe
wasn't
that's
hungry
what
at
I
all.
need then instead of Manjaro.
Some hot sauce.
What else did we get up to then in Pigeon Forge? Well, actually, it was Gatlinburg, wasn't it? It was Ripley's Believe It or Not.
I'm a massive Ripley's fan.
Ripples?
Rachel couldn't pronounce it.
Yeah, she was calling it Ringos and then Ripples and didn't know what. I'm a massive Ripley's fan. You three didn't really even know what Ripley's, did you, before then?
No.
I've heard of it, but I've never been in one.
I've never been
I
in one
loved it.
either.
I've gone to anywhere I've gone in America that has one, I've gone to it. And Amsterdam as well, they've actually got one too. I'm sure there's other listeners as well that are big Ripley's fans. Like they even did a book like the Guinness Book of Records back in the day. And and they had, I think there was a TV show as well. It was on like Challenge or Bravo or one of those, I think.
Well, I'm not going to lie, I was a bit underwhelmed.
Well, that's why we had to bring you shopping after Danny into the. Where do we go? We went to the outlets to get you a
We
tracksuit.
did. I got
Yeah.
a red one of these, didn't I? My red Adidas 2-piece. And you kept taking the piss out of me, saying I look like
Sue
the woman
Sylvester from
from
Glee. Yeah, he was the image. Let's show them.
Actually did.
and
We've got us side by
Santa.
side. Yeah, and then we brought you to the Christmas shop as well.
Yeah, you bastard.
So this was Danny and Denny's dressed as Sue Sylvester. Tell me that is not Sue Sylvester.
You are so out of order.
Leave a
Look at
comment
that
below
smile
if
on
you
my
agree.
face. I'm really happy, and now you've just ruined it.
You're the happiest Mrs. Claus in the world. Mrs. Claus on vacay.
Oh my god.
Oh,
You did rock it though, but you did look like Sue Sylvester. But
You did.
thank you. Get it off the screen right now.
It's not going in
So,
my
yeah, we were there.
basket.
We were there for 2 nights, and on the second night there was a massive storm coming, a blizzard, I think it was.
Weather warning.
Remember?
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we
was
went
all
into
news.
Pigeon Forge. Yeah, we tried to get food in Pigeon Forge, and like 90% of the places were closed down. So we stumbled into one place that was open called Dick's.
It was so
Do you remember that?
Oh, this was a highlight for me. A highlight for me in Pigeon Forge.
and if
So
you
I
did
never,
see-
I never heard of Dick's.
Me
yeah,
neither, obviously, with America being the
I've
first
heard of
time.
one that's in Vegas, but for anyone that's never heard of Dick's in the UK and Ireland, the best way to describe it is it's the precursor to Karen's Diner here. So it's what Karen's Diner was
So
based on.
funny.
So they basically are just rude to you and call you names and make you do silly shit and terrible customer service, but on purpose.
Yeah.
But bear in
In a
mind,
funny
we
way.
were the only table, like we were the only people in the
You're
restaurant
the
that
only
night.
ones.
So we got an absolute.
So we got all the hate
rattling
of
from
everybody that
this.
night.
Yeah, from the waitress and the waiters.
She was
then-
brilliant.
Yeah, she was great. Shout out. I can't even remember her name. Does anyone
I
Jake you
know.
remember names?
We got pictures with them all at the end.
Let's call her
didn't we?
Karen. It's Karen.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Karen.
Everyone
Yeah, but
called
before
Karen.
then, there's the crew there. Big shout out to Dick's in Pigeon Forge
Pigeon
and the crew.
Forge.
They were
Yeah.
amazing.
There was
That's a
literally-
picture of us with all of them.
It was like one-on-one service. There was the same amount of people working there than us because of the snowstorm. But yeah, it was.
Me and Danny representing meet in the middle with the caps.
That's
Oh,
right.
yes. And you've got your hoodie on, Danny?
I do. And then, where's that picture of all of us? With
the hats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Look at that photo.
I love Jake's one covers his whole head.
He's
How
never
the
looked better.
condom fits.
And the thing is, though, I was
Can we
smiling
zoom in?
relief.
Can we zoom in on each individual hat? So
No,
I can't really see
we can't.
Rachel's, can we?
We can't zoom in on him.
So Rachel got for like your audio listeners, she's got a hat over her head with the face cut out, and it says "Glory Hole."
Well, we weren't
Bear
allowed
in
to
mind-
look at what was being put on our heads.
I was
were
just
we?
about to say, bear in mind, we all agreed that we weren't going to look and just laugh at each other's hats.
And what was
Mine
yours,
was I moan when I wipe.
I thought that was brilliant. And she did, in fairness, she did ask us beforehand, now, you're not going to get offended, are you? Do you want me to hold back? And we were like, no, go nuts, go all out. And then my one says, 2 inches away from being a woman. And the worst thing was on the video when you were recording me getting the hat put on, Danny was like, that's not true.
What
yeah,
does
it
Jake
was.
say? Jake says,
When the condom fits.
How the condom
yeah.
fits. That's how
Oh,
loose it
yeah.
is.
Oh, how the condom fits, yeah. And then yours was glory hole.
absolutely
Rach.
so funny.
But no, it
So
was a good
funny.
laugh.
She was fab, and like for being the only table in the restaurant, like she just did her job. It was fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it was
she
really
was
great
great.
open as well. There was like we were going everywhere and just nowhere was open. So thank
And
you.
if you
to
get
them.
it, if you get a drink, you get to keep the Dick's cup, the actual cup.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I think if you've brought ours home,
Yep.
Danny's got mine because I couldn't get in. I
Yeah,
was
you
just
had the big one. I wanted the big one.
Yeah.
Because I love a big one.
So then, obviously, after then, we got in the car, worried that we won't get anywhere because of the snow. Luckily, it all cleared, and we went to Nashville. Obviously, like for me,
Nashville, baby.
It was like it was just somewhere that I'd always wanted to go. I had like a personal affinity with it, and oh my god,
Got your cap.
got my cap, my Nash hat, yeah, and it was just incredible. So anyone that's thinking about going, just go because we had the amazing time there. Just because like people here, obviously country music is growing here, but it's not quite as big as it is in America. But I know you guys said that you now know why I love it so much, and you got to feel it just being in and around it. So obviously we got there. It was about a couple of hours drive, wasn't it, to Nashville?
Yeah.
So it was a good way. But we did
5,
stop
I
off in
think, was it?
Yeah,
It was
we did stop
long.
off, didn't we? We stopped off in Buc-ee's to get our cowboy
We
hats.
did. We stopped at Bucky's.
Yes,
For the listeners that
Huge
don't know
gas
what Buc-ee's
station.
is, what is it?
the
it's a
biggest gas
huge.
station.
Yeah,
Is it?
I think at the time it was the biggest gas station in America that had just been taken over from one in Texas, and then I think a few months later they built another one that was just as big in Texas. So
They're
God
huge.
God knows what it's going to be like the next one because it was like you say, Danny. It was huge. You got like full deli service and everything.
I love Bucky's.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I love it.
So obviously we got there, got to the hotel, unpacked, and what?
Well,
do you
at
do when
Buc-ee's,
you're
what did we
in
get?
Oh, the hats, yeah.
Mine's over here.
Yeah,
I've gotten the right
And
one.
mine's over there.
Yeah, we
And-
got her all dressed up as cowgirls and cowboys that
Yeah, so
evening.
no better way to spend the evening with his cowboy hats to go line dancing. So
In a
we went-
gay bar.
Yeah,
That
called
was amazing.
Pecker's Bar. So we went and did a spot of line dancing. We walked in, all with his hats on, dressed up, as you would think, as you would in
We were the
Nashville,
only ones.
and we were the only ones.
It was like
Yeah.
Spot the Tourist when we walked in. I was like, what's going on here?
But we look good.
At the
We look
time-
good.
Yeah, at the time I was thinking, oh, we're gonna blend in so well here, and then it's only been Paddy's Day 2 weeks ago, and I was in town in Dublin for Paddy's Day, and I seen all the Americans spot them a mile away with the paddy caps on, and I was like, shit, that's how we looked in Nashville.
Yeah.
That was us.
But it was a great evening, and we had some line dancing lessons. Obviously, Rachel, you didn't need them because you were up straight away with the line
I was
dancing.
straight up. and
I
straight in
loved
there.
them. They were
Yeah,
everyone was so friendly in there, and she was lovely, the lady that we made friends with. who kind of leads that, and then all of the dancers that were there.
And
Yeah.
Nat, he works with her. Like, he was teaching me how to do like the couples. I didn't know how to dance with a couple, like line dancing. So he was teaching me how to like do it. And I had never danced with someone else before because it's all only on your own.
Let's drag up one of the videos.
Yeah.
And show.
Yeah.
And shout out to Nashville Lion Dance on Instagram. Check them out. There's me and Jake in the background.
Oh, there's me. I thought I was videoing you. Yeah, I'm behind the guy.
It must have
in
been
the
me that
video.
was videoing.
Oh, yeah.
Had our phone.
Ah.
But yeah, that was a.
And if
good night,
you're
that was.
watching, we're the only ones with cowboy hats on.
What I have to say though, after that, I felt like I'd done a full gym session. I was sweating and like my whole body was aching.
But then we were dancing the rest of the night as well. Like the line dancing class had finished, and we were up friggin' they had the tunes on, and we were
Rocking the
just
cabinet.
having
That was a
fun.
late one.
Yeah.
I got so drunk I had to just make my way back to the hotel.
Oh, Danny.
Yeah. We've all been there. We've all been
That's
there.
what holidays are for.
Even though we had such a late night, we all got up and we went out, didn't we, the following day?
Oh, Jack Daniels, wasn't it?
Yes, we
No.
were up for the Jack Daniels factory.
Oh, was that the next day?
Yeah, that
we
was
were
the next day.
absolutely
was.
hanging like a bat.
And
Like,
the thing is, I'd been on double Jack Daniels all night the night before and not realising, and obviously, Danny, I know you may have pre-warned me, but I got a bit too carried away, but doubles in America aren't the same as doubles here.
It's free pour.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you were on
three,
doubles the
four.
whole night on a shared tab between the four of us while we were all on singles. Rob bastard.
singles was enough, and they weren't even putting enough mixer in. Like my Bacardi and my rum and all was like like light brown.
Yeah, you get a spit of mixer in it.
Like,
Yeah. But obviously,
steaming.
we had at Jack Daniels factory, it was tasting as well. And there was a moment on one of them, I don't know about you guys, but do you know when you have that moment, you're just thinking, we've all been there with a drink that you can no longer drink because you've had too much of it. Yeah. But no, that aside, but the Jack Daniels factory was really interesting. So one thing that our listeners at home in the UK and Ireland might not know is if you've got a bottle of Jack Daniels on your shelf now, well, if it's empty, then it might be in the bin. But all those bottles of Jack Daniels come from that one factory in Lynchburg.
It's crazy.
And I didn't realize that because I know like some places have distilleries around the world just to make it easier. But yeah,
No, just that tiny little place, Lynchburg.
yeah, in the middle of nowhere too. It took us like was it an hour and a half to get out in the bus?
yeah.
That was a great little town, though. But it's crazy that like they have to have them in the barrels for like 5+ years, depending on what barrel it is, or a single barrel or double barrel. But they have to store, like they have to predict what their sales is going to be in 5 years' time.
Yeah. Oh, of course, we did the Luke Combs
Bar. in the
Bar.
evening. That was
Yeah,
incredible.
category 10.
That was huge. It was like
Dude.
6 to 8 floors or something, maybe.
Yeah, waiting on the
more than
lift.
And a rooftop bar as well.
Oh, the rooftop was unreal, wasn't it?
And just the views. And we went the second night it opened, and the views across at night, it was just out of this world.
You could still smell the wet paint on the wall.
We sat like on top, didn't we? And we were looking down, and it had like different bands on, and then the whole dance floor was everybody up line dancing. Like
That was
it
brilliant.
was just a vibe. Like we just sat back and chilled. We didn't get up line dancing because we were all down. But anyway, we just continued on and had a couple of beers and just sat back and watched. It was great.
Yeah.
I can never understand how many people know the same dance to like how many different songs. They all are in
Right.
sync, and a song will come on, and boom, they're all dancing in sync.
That's line dancing for you.
Unlike me the night before, I was not in sync line dancing. I couldn't get right now.
I had
then
an absolute
obviously-
ball.
After we went to Luke Combs, there's no better place to go than a little honky tonk in Nashville, and it was absolutely jam packed. We were sat at the bar, and you thought you saw Theo Von, didn't you, James?
Yeah, it literally looked like Theo Von, the guy up singing at that honky tonk. So I took a video of him and posted it on my story and tagged Theo Von. I was like, go ahead there, Theo Von. He watched the story, he seen my story and watched the rest of my Nashville story from that
I
night.
love it. I love it.
There's just so much to do in Nashville, and obviously when you're there, you have to do the Country Music Hall of Fame and Studio B, which we did the following day. We were up
That was amazing.
Unbelievable.
and out, and that was just out of this world. I know you really loved that Studio B. You guys did, and it was just you felt something.
Yeah, I
Seeing
felt
the
like Elvis,
sweet spot, what was it? The little blue sticker where Elvis had
Little
stood.
X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could
And
literally
Dolly
feel,
and-
it's where Dolly and it's where Elvis recorded like 13 albums, and you could literally feel the energy when you went into that room, and we could see the little sweet spot on the floor that Elvis stood on when he recorded most of those albums.
And the
They
piano
act- yeah,
that's
the
actually
piano.
in the tracks that I can't remember what recordings it was.
I
Can't help falling in
I
love.
think. Yeah.
Yeah.
They actually turned the lights out though at one stage and played a song, and the guy had the Elvis record on the piano, so I was sitting facing it, and I just I got goosebumps. Like it was
Yeah.
just,
Yeah,
and like Elvis was actually recording there. Like, mental.
Shout out to Roy, our tour guide that day. He was a character. I
Dude,
was
you could do-
impersonating. I was
Was
impersonating
it
for the rest of the
Roy or
holiday.
Ron?
Ron.
Was it
Was it
Ron?
Ron?
Oh, Ron. Sorry, Ron.
Yeah.
But it just whatever like cadence his voice had, and he never made eye contact with anyone. He just kept looking at the floor, and he was saying stuff like, "In this very studio, Elvis Presley recorded "Love Me Lonesome," or
Love Me Tender.
Love Me Tender in 1972 at this very Studio B."
Even on the bus, he was like a record. Like he just had all the information in his head. It just kept going round and round. Like he was so informative, obviously, but he does that every day.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he knew all the people and like every date right down to the T. Dolly Parton, Luke Combs, Garth Brooks.
that was really quite special, actually. That Studio
Yeah.
B, something about it. And then, of course, going from kind of rock and roll and country, we headed off to Memphis for a bit of jazz and blues.
Mhm.
So that was another little bit of a drive, wasn't it? It was quite
yeah.
a long time, I think, to
That
get
was just-
down there.
Four
That
and a
was just
half
me
or
getting
five,
out
was
of
it?
Nashville.
Yeah.
That was just me driving out of Nashville that took us a while.
Yeah.
And what did we do for the first night? I think we went straight out into
The main
BB
street,
King's.
didn't we? BB
Yeah.
King's.
Yeah, we went
That's
to BB
right.
King's.
The jazz band on there that night.
They
Oh
were
my
amazing.
god.
Yeah.
Well, it was weird though, wasn't it? Because the street was all quiet and empty.
Yeah.
Because I guess
It's
we're
off
out of
season.
season, but inside there was loads of people. It was electric and full
Yeah.
band. And we've got a video, haven't we, of BB King's?
We
And
do.
just listen to like this band they were brilliant. Have a listen to this.
You can hear the music even from outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so good.
See this barman, the small guy leaning down, he was fucking hilarious. We kept calling him Danny DeVito.
It took no shit at all. It didn't help that I kept getting the drink order on.
Aw.
There we are. Obviously, those that are listening can just get the feel of what it was like in there. It's just a tiny room next to the place we were
That-
eating. And we didn't realise that because we'd gone out and then come back in again, but it was just electric.
That lead singer and bass player, he was very fucking eccentric. He was very weird. Like the little head nods and all he was doing.
Yeah, he was proper getting into it, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But some of the instruments that they had as well, like throughout the show, was amazing.
Yeah, but that barman, we were calling him Danny DeVito. He was fucking hilarious. He just kept on. He
was so rude.
You'd swear he was working in digs. And then at one point, somebody was like, "Oh, thanks for getting me a drink." He was like, "Fuck off, asshole."
That was hilarious. And another big part of our trip was already planned. Did we went to Graceland, Elvis's house?
Oh, that was so
It was
amazing. That
amazing.
was.
Unbelievable.
Unreal.
Like that broke me at one point. Like part of his tour, I was like, "Oh my god, he's here! Like he's here."
It was
He's
unreal.
Elvis
seeing-
is here.
Seeing all of his like stuff, the jungle room,
Yeah.
the pool, the bedrooms, all kind of almost like untouched still. You know, like it was eerie, but it was like I was fascinated. I was like trying to take in every bit of like what I could see and what I could hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously he's buried on Graceland's site as well, out the back in the Zen garden. And Rachel was like a weeping widow. She was sitting. You'd swear
was.
she was married to him.
I was literally standing over the grave at one point and was like, "Oh my god!" Like it helps. You know.
I touched his grave. I had to.
Me
do
too.
it.
Me too.
The thing is, it was so nice because it was off season. You actually got time to spend in that bit and around. You weren't like the house, I know we said that we felt like you had to go through quick because it was so busy in the house. But once you got time just to explore and be by the graveside and in the Zen garden, it was just, well, as its name Zen, it was just so quiet.
Yeah,
you just got to feel that, like the spirit and everything like that. Obviously, listening to Walking in Memphis, the whole thing. Like now, I don't know about you guys, but I can't listen to it without thinking about when it mentions the jungle room and just those bits and pieces.
Knowing that you've now seen it, yeah, it's crazy,
unbelievable.
And obviously,
and then even that song "Walking in Memphis," I never realized that line. Walking with my feet 10 feet off the Beale Street.
Yeah, Beale Street in Memphis. Yeah,
Beale Street. Yeah.
No, I didn't either. But no, you start to like put it all together and go, oh my God, yeah.
So obviously we took the opportunity, didn't we, to have a picture in front of Graceland, in between all the tour buses coming in and out.
Yeah.
There we are.
Still cannot believe I was there, honestly.
I think the house was deceivingly big. Like from the outside, it would have been a big house back in the 60s or 70s whenever you bought it, not in today's standard. But inside it was deceivingly big.
Yeah.
It's huge. Absolutely huge. Yeah.
We weren't even allowed upstairs. That was just 1 or 2 levels. We were in the basement too.
Yeah.
I thought you could, but
you could spend there all day. Like we spent 4.5 hours there?
Yeah,
something
crazy.
like that, didn't we? Like they have diners, they have exhibitions of his cars, exhibitions
clothes.
Of the army, clothes, the Lisa Marie, the airplanes. We went on those and seen a bit inside of those. There is
Lisa
so
Marie
much.
even had her own museum part.
She did.
Yeah.
Like there was records, there was everything Elvis. Like you could spend hours.
I think
so be prepared if you do go. It is a long day and you'll probably be sick of Elvis by the end of it, but it was fantastic and it was probably one of the highlights for me that I absolutely enjoyed.
And obviously the other thing that you could do, you could write your name on the gates. So we took the opportunity, didn't we?
Oh, I can't believe I've signed the gates of Graceland.
Yeah.
Not only you, Danny.
Not only us individually, but the podcast.
We
did. Our handle is up on the gates.
Look at that.
Here it is now.
That's not the gate, that's the sign next to it, but we did put it on the gates as well.
The place is covered. It's covered in graffiti and people signing, so try and find a spot, which we did. We were very lucky.
Yeah, exactly. That's worth noting that it's not. We weren't vandalising Graceland. It's something people do.
Yes. Yeah. You're allowed to.
It does tell you though, whenever you book it, it says to bring a Sharpie with you and to sign. So
it does. Unreal. I loved Memphis.
Yeah.
It was quiet. It was a weird stop because it was just not very busy, which I kind of liked, but I would have liked to have also seen it busy. But Memphis was like a chill for me. I liked it.
We needed that in between the madness.
Yeah.
Although it did leave a bad taste in my mouth, didn't it, Memphis?
When you bought that drink.
Yeah. So I just thought, you know what? I'll try this beer. It was a Bud Light flavored beer, and I was like, okay, what is it? And I thought it was like blood orange, and it was called Clamato. I was like, okay, it sounds a bit fancy. You know me, let's try it. So no better way.
It's time.
You know me a bit fancy. You're right.
As soon as you opened it, Jake Turner. As soon as you opened it,
it stunk. So I didn't realise Clamato was a mixture of clam and tomato beer.
Clam juice.
It was rotten.
It was horrible. It stunk the whole hotel room out. Just had to pour it down the sink.
And I have to also mention, we lost our bloody eyesight.
I was just about to say, we lost our eyesight. So we all went to a supermarket, got some drinks, went down to the pool because we were just chilling, and we were all like taking videos under the water, having a bit of a laugh, bit of a chill, and we went up to get ready. And we all just sat like sort of staring. I was like, can you see? And they were like, no. Like all of the lights were like crystal, they were like really shiny, crystallizing lights around it. And we're all just sitting like, my eyes are sore. Can you see? My phone's hurting my eyes.
It was for the rest of the night though. It was like for a good few hours.
It was like the blind leading the blind the whole way through Memphis Street that night. We could not see.
All I'll say is, welcome to my world. You got 24 hours.
What is it you have? Well, you've got astigmatism, don't you? That is literally what we all had that night temporarily.
Yeah.
And
It was horrible.
It was terrible. I stupidly put my contacts in to go out that night and had to take them out like in the middle of dinner because my eyes were so sore.
Yeah.
So sore. They started to strain.
Bizarrely, mine here.
And that was the night we
perfect eyesight.
That was the night we went to Gus's world famous fried chicken, and
yes.
God, they must have thought that we were on something because we must have went through probably about half a liter of eye drops while we're at the table.
Yeah.
Literally, eye drop central. But also in that diner, which I had never experienced before, this cop was sitting with his girlfriend just in full uniform and had his gun. And I was like, we're just sitting having dinner and this cop sitting here with a gun, just openly casual, chill. And I'm like, does this happen? Is this what happens in America?
Yeah.
It's odd, but you do get used to it. Yeah.
Yeah, strange, but it was fun.
Also, look out for our Meet in the Middle stickers because they've made an appearance in pretty much every stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We've
literally.
popped one in loads of different locations, including Gus's world famous chicken.
If you're from any of the locations we're discussing it and you get a photo of our sticker, send it in to us. We'd love to see it.
So the next day before we left Memphis, we went to the Peabody's Hotel, and the ducks come out every day, 2 times a day. I think it's 11 and 5, and they do a little parade on a red carpet, and then they go in, and in the middle of the foyer, they get into their bath and go for a little swim. And we actually have a little video on TikTok that we done, a little snippet of that. It was so fun. Very different, very
check
strange.
it out on TikTok.
Yeah.
They come out and come down in the lift. All the ducks come down in the lift and waddle down this red carpet to get into the little pond in the middle of the foyer.
And we got
So
VIP
cute.
treatment, didn't we, as well? Because normally they let all the kids sit on the floor on the red carpet. And because we got there and was asking them, we got to sit.
Well, they looked at you, Jake, and thought, no, go on, you can go. You can go and sit down.
He's got his blue sticker with him.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, that was good. It was just interesting to see because I'd never seen anything like that before, but that was very American.
We went for breakfast after that because it was 11 o'clock and our body clocks were all over the place. We went to a great little diner called Sunrise Cafe. It was called, I think. And I took it as a perfect opportunity to try a little TikTok prank on Rachel. I don't know whether you've seen it, but the Starbucks Pinkity Drinkity that doesn't exist. Yeah, I tried that on Rachel in the Sunrise Cafe, and I said, "Go up!" It's because I think beforehand, didn't we get a milkshake somewhere else, and it was like an Elvis milkshake, but it was off the menu, like a secret item.
Yes.
So that kind of already preempted this little prank on Rachel for me. So I was like, "This is another one of those off the menu special drinks. Go up and ask for a Pinkity Drinkity."
And I was wearing a pink
it.
T-shirt. Shall we say? I was wearing a pink T-shirt, and Jake had said to me in the queue, "Go on up and order first. It's okay." And I was like, "All right, let me go first then." And
What a gent!
I was like, "Okay, Jake, calm down," you know. And what happened?
She went up and asked for it and pulled that video up, Jake, and show them.
And obviously, one thing that we did confess after, it's been nearly 2 months in the making this prank, and it was worth it.
2 months in the making. I did not know this.
Yes.
Do you know?
What is it,
I'm sorry, the what?
The girl looked at me.
Excuse me, what?
Are you having a laugh? And then I turned around and said, "What is it?" And then I explained, is it not it's off the menu? It's on your and I was just trying to explain the whole thing, and then you burst out laughing. Video me the whole time.
I did make it up to you though, and in one of our gas station stops, I got you a Starbucks iced Pinkity Drinkity. It wasn't called a Pinkity Drinkity, but it was pink. I think it was
Pink
pink acai.
Yeah.
I was waiting in the car, and you came out, you got your pinkity drinkity.
Was that when we were on our road, on the road to the next place?
Yeah, to Little Rock, I think.
Little Rock, that was a fun stop, wasn't it?
Yes.
Is that Arkansas?
Arkansas, yeah.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
That
Little
just
Rock,
springs to mind
Arkansas.
the song. It was Chris Stapleton, Arkansas. So we went for lovely barbecue food that evening. But anyway, we ended up meeting other people, like a family who did a podcast.
They were there, weren't they? Having it was like a launch night for the podcast or a get together or something for it. Don't think they're a family, but they're like a group of friends. But they all it's like the supernatural and stuff like that, isn't it? Yeah, Bigfoot, aliens, fairies. I was having some wild conversations with some people. Jake, you were part of mine, I think, about fairies and seeing pictures of like orbs floating. It was like mind blowing. You know, part of me is like, well, I'm not. I think that's just a camera that's caught a bug close up on the, you know. But
You had a bit of dirt in your hands.
Yeah.
But I am fascinated by these stories, even though like I may not believe them entirely. You know, I'm still fascinated. So, you know, I'd love to like get together with them and do a joint podcast. I think we talked and swapped details. We were meant to go for a meal with them, weren't we? But it's so hard when we're on a trip, you know, to see and fit everything in. But I think they understood. But we'll definitely get
I still remember him saying, "Oh, ask anybody if anyone wants to know about Bigfoot. I'm the fucking guy." And Jake, I think he was wrecked from the night before, and he was just standing there being quiet. And
it's like, I want to go.
And he turned around. Yeah, and the guy was like, "See that guy? He's the quiet guy. I fucking like it."
Let's just say that night was eventful for all of us. We had an absolute ball with them.
It was a good night.
When we got back to the hotel, it was fun too.
Yeah, we just crashed out.
And the Uber driver on the way to that restaurant, though, we didn't realise he was Irish. And me and Rachel were talking. I think I was slagging her, saying, "Oh, look at the big Irish head on you."
That's it.
And then the guy driving was like, "You know, I've been here for 10 months. This is the first time I've ever heard an accent from home."
Yeah.
And I didn't realise.
Like, are you Irish?
Yeah, afterwards I was like, "Shit, did you think I was saying you had a big Irish head on you?" I was talking about war.
Oh, God. And then we went to a karaoke bar, didn't we?
We did.
But it was an Irish bar called, was it Donnigan's? Donnigan's? Duncan's?
I can't even remember the name of it.
Oh, I can't.
Duncan's? No, that's where you got your coffee.
That is where we got our coffee. That was amazing. Duncan's was great.
There was a woman who got up and sang, and I'm telling you, she's incredible.
She was incredible. Amazing.
And the guy who sang Sound of Silence as well. He was fab.
That wasn't me that time.
Jake, we tried to push you to get up, and you were like, and then you weren't going to, and you put your name up, but the guy didn't have to.
Yeah, he'd run out of time.
Yeah.
Oh, what a shame Little Rock never got to hear my voice. One thing that we did, obviously we were all a bit tired from the night before, but me and you, Danny, we got up, didn't we? We had a bit of an educational trip.
We did, because we can get up on a reasonable time and get out and sightsee.
Yeah, educational trips aren't really for me.
We went to the Capitol building for Arkansas, and that was interesting.
The Little Rock 9.
Yeah, the Little Rock 9, which I'd never heard anything about. So it was a group of 9 African-American students that were enrolled in the Little Rock Central High School. I think it was in the 1960s. And their enrollment, it followed an event within Little Rock. And it was basically, they were prevented from entering a racially segregated school by someone in the city. And it was all to do with the segregation in America. And they actually challenged that. And it led a whole chain of events on the civil rights movement.
Yeah, they were like, fuck that.
It was just fascinating just to hear that story, and we saw the statues.
It was.
So we learned a little bit that day.
And Sarah Huckabee Sanders, that's where her office is. She's governess or something, I don't know.
Yeah, we tried to have a nosy, didn't we?
Governess? Is that not the one on the Chase?
Well, they do look quite similar.
So that was quite interesting to learn a bit about Little Rock while we were there. And obviously then we went to the Irish bar and you guys sang your hearts out.
We did. We had a ball. Fun times.
And then we had another trip. We had to pack up our bags and leave again for Fort Worth and Dallas.
Yes.
On the road again.
Dallas, Fort Worth.
Yeah, so like we were staying in Fort Worth. We stayed in Fort Worth, but it was only 30, 40 minutes away from Dallas. So the first night we got there, I think myself and Jake already pre-booked tickets to see the Dallas Mavericks versus the Charlotte Hornets. And it was my first NBA experience. I didn't realize that it was literally 20% basketball, 80% entertainment. Like there was fuck all basketball going on. And there were breaks every 5 minutes. And something that took me by surprise as well was they were playing music the whole way out throughout them playing basketball. Like you never get that.
Oh, really?
Home. Yeah.
I thought you had like commentary or something.
No, that's like normally just on TV. Yeah, right. But like you wouldn't get that at a football or like Gaelic football game. It's a sport. That's it. But they were playing music the whole way throughout, and then their little chants, defense, defense.
It was just like, obviously, when it broke, they had entertainment, so there was dancing dogs doing agility in the middle. It was just so crazy.
Did they do the
Yeah.
love cam or whatever it is? They do like they bring up people look-alike cam.
They did
Did they
karaoke.
do
that?
They did karaoke cam, didn't they?
Oh,
Class.
Yeah, and they did some. I can't remember the other cams, but there was all like different cams going around, and we were just hoping. Well, I was. James always the wanting to be in the centre of the spotlight, wanted to be on camera. I was just hoping that it wouldn't come up, but we did the True Tourist thing and bought some jerseys as well, didn't we?
you spent so much money.
That's standard for a jersey.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I've got a picture as well of that. So here we are.
Oh,
with the
let's have a look.
beers,
With our jerseys.
jerseys and beers, waiting for the game.
You
to
look
start.
wrecked.
You were steaming whenever we pictures up. Me and Danny went to a theatre and we said, what do we go see, Danny? Hades Town?
Hades Town, yeah, which is it was doing its American tour, and it was incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad I got to see it, and I'm
It was
glad I
so
got to see it
good.
with you, Rach.
I know,
What
Danny.
a-
It was a lovely wee night, wasn't it?
It was nice to actually do a little thing individually, like
You guys missed
that
us.
as
You were
well.
texting us flat out.
You were texting me saying you were bored. You can't wait for this to be over.
I did not. I did not. I was
was a
sitting
tale of
falling
two
on
nights.
side, crying on it. It was amazing.
So did I when the
It
dog
was.
came out at the basketball. No, I'm joking.
Obviously, we
I got my
staggered back.
first playbill.
But we
staggered
were
back,
wrecked
didn't we,
after that
the
night too.
Right.
Yeah.
We
You
were
picked
wrecked
us up.
and we got an early night, and then the next
Oh,
night.
because I was
we
driving.
No, we didn't. We went
No.
out
Oh,
to
no,
Because
did
I
we?
was
went out.
driving. I was
Mhm.
driving and I was like not in the mood because I was like, oh, you're all drunk and I'm just boring. Like, bloody, I want to drink. So
Well, we
went
made
back
up
and
for
then
it. We made up
We
for
did.
it.
We went to the
Let's just say
Horny
the horny
Toad.
toad. Yeah, at the
Yep.
jukebox. Do you remember the seat at the jukebox?
Yeah.
And I so picture a jukebox and then a seat with an ass, like a big huge ass and legs. So I sat on it. It looked like I had a big fat ass.
Oh,
That
everyone
bar
was lovely in
so
there.
much fun.
Jennifer, she was lovely. I liked her.
And Connor, he was trying to do
And
my
Connor.
accent. What's the crack?
Yeah,
He was good at accents.
that was a good night.
It was very good.
And then the next day we treated ourselves, didn't we, to a little
We
massage?
did.
We got a group
treat is,
massage.
some of us were treated, some of us were getting beaten up.
And some of
in
us were
one-
just giggling. Rachel.
I was in stitches. It was funny because
we're in like a big, huge, long area. Yeah, go on.
picture us all in our own little booth each with curtains in between. So I'm getting massaged away, happy days, trying to chill out, and the next minute I hear a slap like from one end to the other, and I was like, who's getting slapped down there? And I said to my masseuse, I was like, I don't want to be getting slapped now, don't be doing that in me, I definitely don't want that. And he was like, no, it's okay, I won't do that. And someone farted. Who farted?
No, I would
that's-
never
heard
do
that
that.
as well. I was getting a nice, relaxing massage, and you heard like the waterfall and the whale echoes, and then next of all,
You did not hear a fart.
I definitely did.
Well, it must have been one of the masseuses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were just getting too relaxed.
But what was that? 90 minutes, and we came out like
Yeah.
new humans,
Wow.
new
I
people,
was
didn't
battered and
we?
bruised. I was black and blue all over. I was just, but I felt amazing after. But none
The
of
thing
you were
is-
getting slapped around.
I had
What
to.
have I
I
done
had. Do you know what? I had to do a massive poo before the massage. So I was like, "Oh my god!" I'd like if they have to go down there, please don't.
Don't smell. Hold your nose.
But it wasn't me. It wasn't me that farted. I promise.
Oh, Christ. So funny.
No, that was a good. But it was well needed. We needed to have that little bit of relaxing time.
We did.
And
Yeah.
I'm going to book in for another one.
Yeah,
We took
and
a
those.
little trip into Fort Worth, the stockyards, didn't we? So,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
we weren't dressed for this occasion either, and we rocked up. I was wearing shorts and like a vest, and my cowboy hat in the middle of this wild west, like completely turnover from what Dallas and like Texas looks like, the city. Like picture New York, and then 10 minutes just outside it, it looks like an absolute wild west.
Yeah.
Country
Yeah.
and western strip of streets, cowboys, cowgirls, the whole lot, the whole shebang. And we spotted this little like booth, and it said rodeo. And what did we do that evening, guys?
We
We did the rodeo.
baby. Yeah.
VIP, may we add?
Yes.
Oh,
And
that.
we looked the part. We definitely looked the part. And unlike Nashville, we didn't stand out like
Yeah.
sore thumb.
No, we fit in there because they had a load of proper type.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yay!
100.
So here we are at the rodeo.
Look
I think
at
we
us.
I think we actually looked the part.
We
Well,
do
I
look
did.
the part.
I think I looked the part more than
Of course, you do. You self-centered.
Looked like he was on a night out. Danny, you got your check shirt on and the cowboy hat.
That's
You look-
James's. I was wearing James's
Jake-
clothes.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Jake, you look like the Milky Bar kid.
Or the yodeling one. The
The
yodeling
Milky Bars are on me.
Did those jeans come with the camel toe?
I have to say, like, Texas has a place in my heart, and I want to be a cowgirl forever. If I was to go back in a new life, I would be a cowgirl in Texas at the rodeo, at the stockyards, like that. That has a place in my heart. I
Yeah,
absolutely love
I
it.
still have the VIP pass.
yeah, I've got mine too. It's
Me
funny
too.
because I lived in Texas for like 6.5 years, and I'd never been to Fort Worth. And like you say, it is like completely different. It was like being
geez.
in the wild, wild west.
Yeah.
It was. I loved it. Yeah, no, great steaks as well. Ooh,
Oh, they were incredible. They were.
That was the treat.
juicy. Love a juicy bit of meat. And then it was off from there, wasn't it, Dallas, to my old stomping ground, Houston,
It was,
which
yeah.
was fun. It was weird driving into Houston. Like it was just it's like
Nostalgic.
home from home. It's crazy. And of course you got to meet some of my friends from Houston.
We did.
So you got to meet Ollie, you got to meet Heather and Davey.
Ollie gave us all
Didn't
little
we?
gifts. I still have them. Little hands.
Yeah, little
hands,
hands.
Yeah.
I have my Polaroid as well. We all got like a little Polaroid.
Yeah.
Oh,
If
that
you
was
can
the
see,
following
I'll
day,
just hold
wasn't
it
it?
up. I keep it on my phone.
Aw,
Yeah.
But here we are.
I think we have a group photo, do we?
Yeah.
we do.
Here we go.
Oh, James, you did my hair that night.
I did. And then straight
don't like
after, you
it.
prick, you were like, "Oh, I wonder will I wear a hat with this outfit?" I'm like, "I just did your hair."
Houston was amazing. Like,
Jake,
it
you
was
look
warm.
pissed.
We went from -12, what was it, -12 to 27 degrees. And I was out straight away in the sunshine at the pool. We had a little pool day like that day, didn't we, for a while?
Yeah.
It was lovely.
And our eyes were fine. We didn't get
Yeah.
stigmatism from that pool.
No, but everything else was frozen from the waist down in that pool. That was freezing cold.
Oh my
I
god.
didn't get in. I was worshipping the sun.
And the
sun
Gulf
was
of
cold.
America was cold as well because
Yes.
we went down to
Oh.
Galveston.
We
It might have been a
did.
little bit warmer though when I went in, but we'll say no more.
Yeah, we were.
I still think that's crazy. They renamed it to the Gulf of America. Obviously, this is
I know.
was formerly the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
It still is the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we also went to a drag brunch, didn't we?
Drag brunch. Yes, at the
was
Montrose
fun.
Country Club.
That was my first
So
time
much
at
fun.
a drag brunch as well. So that was
Same.
Yeah, I
Throwing
know
out
which
your
one.
dollars.
That was so
I think I
much
got
fun.
$60 converted into $1 bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. Because then we saw Blackberry, who was on Dracula. She's fat. I love Blackberry. I've seen her loads of times, obviously, when I lived there, but she's so funny. Yeah, all those girls were great at the drag brunch. Yes, bitch.
That's Rachel's cowboy hat.
My girl hat.
Take my money, bitch.
Let's be honest,
That's Honey Bee.
that was the
The food
thing.
was amazing too.
Oh, yeah.
I can't even remember the food. I think I was
We were
dying.
as well.
So
were
much
dying.
food. I literally put on a stone.
I haven't even
No,
weighed
yeah,
myself.
fine. If I can fit in the clothes, then I've not put on any weight. And
Well, that took us up to our final stop then of the holiday, didn't it? Or what was meant to
Yes.
be.
well, yeah, it was meant to be the final stop, but what a stop to finish on. So we
Oh my God.
travelled to New Orleans, or should I
Yep.
say New Orleans? Said it wrong.
New Orleans.
New Orleans. And what a drive that was. It was just the people said before that the different states are different, and it was literally going from Texas to Louisiana. It changed as soon as you hit the border. It just turned into full swampland, and the hay fever hit. But
James couldn't find a vape anywhere because it's
Oh
banned.
my god! Yeah, the vapes were
Louisiana
banned in
stops.
New Orleans, and I didn't know what to do. I was panicking. I was going to lose my job.
So when we eventually got to the hotel, oh my god, what a hotel that was! It was
It's like
incredible.
an airport.
It was like an
Shout out to the Hyatt Regency.
Yeah, and the breakfast incredible.
Oh, the best
The
breakfast
best
ever.
breakfast we had the whole holiday.
And little did we know until recently, the hotel featured in the movie Focus with Will Smith and Margot Robbie.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
did.
if you've seen it, you know the scene where he shouts at her and he's like, "If I have to tell you one more time," and they like drop the bags and like take a load of people's stuff. That's the scene.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers.
Sorry. It's not really key to the story.
But
And why were
got
we there?
And we were there for Fat Tuesday, which was the last day of
Mardi
Mardi
Gras. Mhm.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had a little flavour the night before. Night that we
Rachel
got
and
there.
the beads.
So yeah, we got all got beads, and we had a little flavour the night before. But we wanted to be ready for the day ahead tomorrow. And
Electric.
yeah,
Oh,
did not disappoint.
if you get to do Mardi Gras in
Yeah.
New
Do it.
Orleans, New Orleans, do it. 100%
The way I-
do it. It's electric.
The way I described it, if you've done Paddy's Day in Dublin, it's like Paddy's Day in Dublin times 10 on crack.
Unbelievable. Like, I had never seen anything like it. The streets were filled with people. Like, it was just so much fun. We had an absolute ball. I think that was one of my highlights as well.
Do you know what I found amazing as well? I mean, there was thousands of people there, really safe, lots of police presence. I mean, 'cause
Yeah.
obviously they'd had, that thing prior a couple of months before or whatever, but it was really safe. There were beads, there was crap everywhere in the streets. In a matter of hours, it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is so
Spotless.
clean and tidy. You wouldn't have even thought that like hundreds of carts full of people throwing beads and stuff had been on the streets. It was so clean.
That's right.
The next day, you'd be able to eat your dinner off the street, and I was that drunk and hungover. I probably did, and I can't remember.
Yeah.
And we got tarot readings.
Yes. We
Actually, we had a few.
Yeah.
We got into an Uber once, and then the woman was a medium.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were actually getting. What are the chances? We were getting an Uber to a medium and a psychic, and the woman driver that was driving us to the medium was a psychic herself and read us for free in the car.
Oh,
She's
it was
loving it,
amazing.
actually. Going to try and do an episode with her as well.
Yeah, she's got a story.
That was meant to be that day, though, because we were at the plantation, and the plantation in itself, like, what was that like, guys? We spent a good few hours there. Just
Well,
so
we nearly
surreal.
didn't get
and,
there.
like, we nearly didn't get there. The Uber driver on the way was a bit crazy, shall we say?
Near-death experience.
Yeah.
And I had the pleasure of being in the front while you guys were in the back. I've learned
Definitely
so
holding
much.
on to that. Oh Jesus!
I was holding on to everything I could, and just so interesting that ride was. With massive crack in the windscreen, and then getting shown videos on TikTok of massive crabs in Sri Lanka
Whilst driving.
Yeah, and then overtaking about 7 cars and lorries while on our side of the road. But once we got to the plantation, I know we've talked.
That
about
was
how we
incredible.
feel, the feeling of you can feel it and everything like that, and just to learn about the dark history, really about what went on at the plantation and everything around it. It was just so interesting. I know we all said we're so pleased we did it just to hear those stories.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, little did we know that when we were in the taxi back.
Healing Hands Nola, I think her name was on
Yeah.
Insta.
We actually
We weren't
gave her a
meant to-
card,
we
so she
weren't
could be
meant-
listening.
Yeah, hope so.
We weren't meant to. We didn't know how we were getting home that day, and we just asked the restaurant after getting some lunch, and they give us her number, and we rang her, and that was just meant to be,
Yeah.
wasn't it? I know we're coming to the end of an episode. I do have one question for us all before we just touch on coming home and what we faced. So, if you could relive one day or night of the holiday, what would it be?
Oh, that's a really tough one. Can I have 2?
Well, yeah, okay, go for it.
No, you greedy bitch.
One. Okay, who's ready?
I'd say
Who's
mine.
first?
It's probably New Orleans for me because it was insane. And before we went away, when we had this all planned, I think most of our highlights were going to be Nashville and New Orleans. So we already had that anticipation and standard set for those two places, and they did not disappoint whatsoever. I love New Orleans, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
I think mine would probably have to be Graceland. Just that was surreal for me, just seeing everything in its place, you know, looking out at the stables and the backyard, and actually have seen the footage of Elvis and Lisa Marie and the kids, and that was unreal.
Yeah. I think I would have to say it's a toss up between the two, between obviously New Orleans and Fat Tuesday, but Nashville for me was just the feeling of everything that we did around there, and just having that air of the country scene was just out of this world. Obviously, we had amazing times in the cars, didn't we?
Yeah.
They were some of the highlights. But what was yours, Rach?
I know we touched on the rodeo, and it stole my heart, and I would forever be a rodeo girl. Like, that just was amazing. The whole trip was fantastic. But I have wrote this down, and it was the day when we were all in New Orleans and we were all dancing in the street. We were just having fun, letting loose, even though it was our last stop, and we had an absolute ball to finish the holiday, and that was just us letting go and having fun. I think Danny had actually went live on Instagram that day, and we're just having an absolute ball. I think it reminded me of being like in Ibiza or like at a concert.
Yeah, same.
It's like Mykonos music.
It was so like I would relive that day all over again, like 10 times over.
Because we did go out and start drinking at like, what was it, 12 or something in the day? And we were out
early. I think it was like
we didn't get home until what time? I don't know.
We were there. We were out on Bourbon Street for probably 12, 14 hours that day.
Yeah.
We put a good shift in.
It was a great way to end the holiday.
It really was.
Then
we went off to the airport.
Flight issues on the way home, didn't we?
Thought we were never getting home.
Just a little.
So we got to
flight delays.
New Orleans airport, and they told us we'd be 4 hours delayed, which meant that whenever we got to Philadelphia, because we were stopping in Philadelphia then to get to Dublin, that we could potentially miss our connecting flight. And we actually did.
They gave us 15. They gave us 15 minutes from when the plane lands to gates closing, which was never going to happen.
Yeah,
that was fun, though. It was fun.
So it was a night in Philly.
Yeah, we did an overnight in Philadelphia. So there's another state to add to the list. Then we did Pennsylvania.
Yeah. And then when we got to the airport the next day, we went from Philly to where?
Boston.
Well, we almost didn't go anywhere because the flight that flight was overbooked too. And we got diverted over to Aer Lingus, but they saved the day.
Oh, Aer Lingus were brilliant.
They were fabulous.
They came to the rescue.
You can always rely on the Irish.
Yeah. I feel like, because we were very tired, it was, you know what it's like when you're delayed at the airport. It is frustrating. You're tired, you're irate. I did give them a bit of a hard time, but I did apologise to them. But they were brilliant, and they did sort everything out. And, you know, it must be so hard doing that job. And we do appreciate you.
Yeah.
We're like, it's hard when you're really tired and ratty and you haven't had a cigarette.
Aer Lingus, we owe you a lot. Fly Aer Lingus!
And then it was it. That was it. It was over.
That was the end of an era.
But until the next one, who knows where we may end up?
Well, before we do end, we did get a memento, didn't we? We are now blood brothers and sisters. Yes.
We're what?
We're blood brothers.
That.
I totally forgot about this.
Yeah.
We all got matching tattoos.
I can't
I've
show
got to get mine out.
I can't show mine. Mine's in a certain area that cannot be seen.
So for anyone that's listening, I sort of helped design it, and it's a.
What do you mean you helped design it? I came up with the idea. You just put it into ChatGPT.
Oh, here we go.
I came up with the idea, and Jake just typed it into ChatGPT and then said, "Oh, I designed it." No, you didn't. It was my
Actually, it was my idea before we went away on holiday. I said about getting the tattoos.
Yeah, but I mean the actual physical tattoo. The physical tattoo itself was my idea to get the Fleur de Lis to represent New Orleans and then the boot to represent Tennessee and Texas. And then
Right, I
Jake,
want it
all
off
he
now.
did,
Let's get
all
it
he
off.
did was put it into ChatGPT, and he was like, "Oh, I came up with it." No, you didn't.
Anyway,
It was a group effort.
It was group
and
effort.
it's
Can
a
we just
group
confirm that I
memento.
do have one, and it's just not in an area that I can't?
She's got it on her right butt cheek.
No, I do
She's
not.
got on her titty tip.
I
We
didn't
agreed
get it
that
on
it
my
was going
tit.
there, and then we all chickened out, and then we just had it on our arm.
I got it on my side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously,
Yeah,
my
it's all
first
on the
tattoo
same
as well.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
First
your
time getting
tattoo,
inked
yeah.
and got inked with you
Yes,
guys.
Jake, your first tattoo.
I think there's even a picture of you, Danny, reassuring me while I'm in the chair, just holding me. So thanks to
cradling him.
yeah.
I was freaking out. I was actually freaking out though too.
We would show you the photo, but there was a big wet patch in the middle of Jake's trousers, so we can't really put it up.
Shout out to Tattoo by You, though.
Yes. Yeah. Obviously, I did have a couple of pints beforehand, which I shouldn't have done, but I needed that little Dutch courage.
Yes,
Yeah.
please don't do that when you're getting a tattoo. Please do
Don't
not.
recommend it.
No.
And that was the trip.
What a way.
That was the trip.
On to the next one.
What a trip. Well, the holiday may be over, but I've got a little summing up my sleeve. Let's do the quiz.
Oh.
Okay. And it's going to be based, well, loosely. No, it is based around the trip. But it will be kind of general knowledge about some of the places as well. So if you're ready, I'm going to want to hear your buzzers. So why don't we start with you, Jake? Let's hear what you've got.
My buzzer is.
Oh, the Lone Ranger. Okay, okay, cowboy. Rachel.
I'm hoping this is going to work. So mine is.
Pizza review in my mind. It's a bit of a. It's becoming our theme tune, isn't it? I
Yeah.
think?
Yeah.
That was the song of the holiday. We actually all got it up at karaoke and sang it together too.
Oh my god. We're not putting that video out though.
No.
So, James, let's hear your buzzer.
Well, the one thing we didn't mention was we had a lot of windy nights in the hotel rooms with the American food. So this is my buzzer.
Oh, sorry there, partner. You scared me.
Oh my god. Windy nights. I actually thought there was going to be something else.
Oh. My
At one
lord.
point, I thought Winnie blew a hole through the wall.
They were
Wasn't
windy
me.
nights. We were,
Right, well-
none of us were innocent.
Let's leave the farting for another day and get straight into the quiz. So here we go. Good luck, everybody. Question number 1. So, of course, when we were on our road trip, we had a nice big car, and it was a GMC. But what does GMC stand for? Oh, that is Jake.
It wasn't. You just didn't hear the fart.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's the buzzer you chose.
It's General Motor Company.
It is General Motors Company. Yes, well done, Jake. 1 point to you. Come on, Rachel, James, you can do this. Okay. All right. So, question number 2. In 1986, what was the attraction Silver Dollar City renamed and rebranded as? That is Jake.
Is it Dallas?
It is not Dallas. Think of oh,
That was me.
that was
My drum roll went. Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
All right,
I'm
I
getting
we'll go
swear I
scared.
had
Rachel.
it.
We'll go Rachel.
Was it Pigeon Forge?
Okay, Pigeon Forge are on the right lines, but it's an attraction that was called Silver Dollar City. James
Dollywood.
Oh,
is the correct answer. Dollywood,
for
yes.
God's sake.
Yeah, it used to be called Silver Dollar City. It was called something before that, but it was then in 1986 rebranded to Dollywood. Well done. So we've got
Sorry about that. It slipped out.
So we've got Jake on 1 and James on 1. Rachel, you can do this, girl.
Nightmare.
Question number 3. Which meet in the middle host is connected to Nashville? Rachel. Who is it?
Jake?
It is not Jake. That's James.
Connected. Uncle,
Yes.
what, me? Me?
It is not you, James.
Right, so that rules.
Okay, Jake.
Is it you, Danny?
It is not me.
Oh.
It is Rachel.
Why?
Steve.
So Nashville has
Oh.
8 sister cities, including Edmonton in Canada, Tamworth in Australia, Mendoza in Argentina, and Belfast
Oh, for
in
God's
Northern
sake!
Ireland.
I went for Steve because of
Oh
horses.
my god! Oh my god! State horses?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So,
Oh, that was-
unfortunately, no one gets the point. All right, question number 4. Constructed between 1722 and 1732, which building in New Orleans claims to be the oldest structure that was used as a bar? I think that was Rachel.
I didn't buzz in. Sorry, I didn't.
Okay.
buzz in.
See?
So it must-
Slander.
So it was
Well, I
James
did
then.
buzz in
Okay.
the
It
last
was me,
one.
but I don't want to do it anymore now. I'm not playing. No, I forget the
Oh,
name.
come on, James.
I forget.
If he's passing.
Oh, no. Okay, Jake, do you want to take a guess?
Yeah. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was the old inn. There's an old inn.
That's
Oh,
the
was
same
it
answer
the
as me.
old-
We're too late. Yeah, you can't. You've already buzzed
I didn't buzz in,
it.
no. I
She didn't buzz
in.
in. She didn't buzz in.
Oh, it was like
Right, so Jake's getting it.
The bar was called the Louis something or Louis. No.
No, I'm sorry. So nobody's going to get the point. It was Lafitte's Blacksmiths. And we went in there and had a
Yeah,
drink.
The purpley derply.
I just couldn't think of the name.
Happily Dumpling. We did. So no points to any of you. So Jake won, James won. All right, here we go with question number 5. Get your fingers on the buzzers because you might get this one. Which world famous singer was born and raised? That was James.
And
It's gonna be one or
born and
two.
raised.
I'm gonna go with Elvis Presley.
Is the wrong answer. I'm
I
afraid.
knew.
I
If
will
you didn't
finish
listen.
the question. Which world famous singer was born and raised in Houston? That is Jake.
Is it Beyonce?
It is Queen Beyonce.
Can I get a
Well
point for
done,
saying Selena?
Jake. No. Okay, Jake, 2 points. James, 1. Rachel, 0. I did have a tiebreaker. That means that Jake has won the quiz. Well done, Jake. But I did have a tiebreak one. And I will give 5 points if you can get this right. It's a special road trip edition.
Hit the button.
During their notorious crime spree in the 1930s, the infamous outlaws Bonnie and Clyde hid in which city? Okay, that is Jake.
Was it Little Rock?
It was not Little Rock, I'm afraid. Jake. That's Rachel.
Was it Houston
It was not
or
Houston.
Texas, Dallas? I don't know.
I'm gonna say it was Fort Worth.
Is the correct answer.
Fuck you all.
Which means that James has 6 points and he wins the quiz. Yes. So Bonnie and Clyde actually found refuge in one of Fort Worth's hotels. It was called the Stockyards Hotel. And it's now actually a tourist attraction where you can actually go and reserve the room and stay in it. But yes, James, well done. You win with 6 points.
Sick again.
I can't wait to hear this back on all the times I buzzed in first and didn't get it.
You didn't. You did not.
We'll see on Friday. Well, today.
You did not.
Right,
Well
well, before I snap, let's wrap up this episode.
Yes.
Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed our little trip as much as we did, or hearing about it at least. And if you enjoyed this episode or want to go back and listen to a few other ones that you enjoyed, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell notification. Give us a 5-star review. And we'll be back with you next week. Until then, see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, there's plenty more where that came from.
So hit subscribe and don't miss the next Unhinged Confessional.
And hit that bell icon and turn on notifications. Trust me, next week's episode is wild.
Are you still here? Click that video already. You know you want to.